Sorry about
All
that.
right. Madam Secretary, can you take attendance, please?
Thank you. Member Foston?
Present.
Member Anuké? Member Anuké?
Present.
Member Mobley?
Present.
Member Christmas? Member Christmas? She is absent. Member Latour?
Present.
Council Vice President Montague?
Present.
Mayor Warren?
Present.
Vice Chair Jones?
Here.
Chairman Holmes?
Here.
Quorum has been met.
Thank you. Is there any correspondence?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there is correspondence. It is included in your packet. And the correspondence was in regards to the proposed classification exception area for restrictions area. It is included in your packet. It's a notice.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
First order of business is adoption of the October 15th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Chairman, if I may,
Madam Secretary.
those minutes will be carried to the March 25th meeting.
25. Okay, thank you. I'm gonna ask everyone to please mute your microphones. Yeah, you're still on speaker. Just ask that you mute your microphone. Madam Secretary, if you don't mind,
Okay,
maybe. Okay.
I got it.
Next up, we have the adoption of the November 12th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Chairman, if I may,
Yes, ma'am.
all members present are able to vote.
Thank you. And those meeting minutes were included in the package that was in the Dropbox, so I'm sure everyone had an opportunity to review them. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion for these minutes.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion from Member Mobley. Is there a second?
Second, Montague.
Second from Vice President, Councilman Montague. Are there any questions on the motion? Seeing none, Madam Secretary.
Member Foston?
Yes.
Member Anuké?
Yes.
Member Mobley?
Yes.
Member Latour?
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, yes.
Thank you. Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones?
Yes.
Chairman Holmes?
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. Next up, we have the adoption of the December 18th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Madam Secretary,
in these minutes, all members present are able to vote.
thank you. With that, I entertain a motion.
Motion, Montague.
Motion from Councilman Montague. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Member Foston. Are there any questions on the motion? Seeing none, Madam Secretary.
Member Foston?
Yes.
Member Anuké?
Yes.
Member Mobley?
Yes.
Member Latour?
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague?
Yes.
Mayor Warren?
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones?
Yes.
Chairman Holmes?
Yes,
Motion passes.
thank you. I see we next have an extension request for case number 22-04. That's 68 Central Avenue Holdings LLC, 56-68 Central Avenue, which was a preliminary and a final major site plan approval.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes, ma'am.
Attorney Moore is here on behalf of the applicant.
Yes. Good evening, Chair, members of the board. My name is Marcia Moore from the law firm of Post Polk on behalf of the applicant. As indicated, this application did receive, the property is 56-68 Central Avenue, Block 4501, Lot 7. We were before the board in 2022 with a approval of a resolution that was adopted in January 2023. At that time, the board granted approval, preliminary and final site plan to construct a 5-story building with 82 residential units and 137 equivalent spaces. Tonight, we are seeking a second extension of that approval. We have received or in the process of finalizing our resolution compliance, providing drawings, and also to secure our financing and any entitlements. So this is the second request for an extension.
Okay, and Madam Secretary, do you have the dates on Attorney Moore? I apologize. Do you have the dates?
So we are asking for the extension to be retroactive to, it's for 1 year. So the last
Right.
approval was from ending January 26, 2026. We're asking to be carried through January 26, 2027.
Okay,
So it's for 1 year.
and I'm going to go to the board attorney because this
I'm
is
sorry,
the
the address
sec-
for that project, Chairman?
that was Attorney Moore. You want to?
Yes, it's 56-68 Central Avenue, Block 4501, Lot 7. And we have received county approval on it as well.
Is that right by the Oakwood Avenue corner?
Yes, by the park.
Okay.
With this being the second request, Attorney Wenzel, would they have to renotice then
No,
at the next time, if we don't go, before they can ask for another request? Would they have to renotice and go through the whole process again? How does that work?
No, they wouldn't have to go through the whole process again, but what this does, it extends the protections that Ms. Moore's client received as a result of the resolution for zoning standards, so that, you know, if they didn't get the extension, they would in essence be subject to updated zoning requirements for that area. But and obviously their variances would whatever variances were granted, if any were with this one, would sunset. So if they did not complete it by January 26, 2027, they would be facing that. Ms. Moore would have to
So when did it expire?
So the extension, we're asking for retroactive. So it was last month. It was 2026. We were asking for for it to be retroactive. The municipal land use law does say that it can be retroactively applied. And Mr. Wenzel is correct that we do not have to notice. However, as a matter of course, if the board is willing to grant this approval, we do notice the extension in the paper as well, but we don't have to notice for the hearing. So the case law says we are entitled up to discretion, up to 3 extensions, 3 1-year extensions under the case law.
Might we know the reason for the extension?
We're in the process of finalizing our resolution compliance. We're working with the board professionals to send in our engineering plans. We did receive approval. We have to get our engineer to send those documents in. And we're also in the process of trying to finalize our financing. So the applicant does intend to proceed with this project. He does believe in the project, but we do need that extension in order to continue the process.
Are there any timelines when you'll have?
He's
complete
ready
resolution
like
compliance?
yesterday. We just need to get our professionals. So rather than it's 1 year, hopefully you don't see me again next year. That is the thought process of not coming back. But I know he's eager to move. We're just waiting for our design professional to provide the requisite documents that we've asked for.
And Chairman, do you have any report on what has been the status of the maintenance of the property during this period?
Not at this time. Madam Secretary, do you have anything?
No, Mr. Chairman, nor have I received any complaints of the property not being maintained.
13-month extension. And I think you ought to at least get some kind of report on the maintenance of the property. Even if we grant a conditional extension, I think that should be part and parcel of the application.
Attorney Wenzel?
Right, I was just gonna ask Ms. Moore, I don't think that's a heavy lift to comply with that request with the if the board were to grant the extension with the understanding within less than 30 days, your applicant or client provides an update on the status of the maintenance of the property through our board secretary.
I have no objection to that.
And finally, can we get a periodic reporting on what the status is? I guess you can use our meeting dates as earmarks, and you can report in as to what the status is. So we're not here again at the end of the year. And if there's anything that the planning board can do to move things along, we at least like to know what the status is so we can be useful in that regard.
Mayor, are you asking for a written report or are you asking me to come every month to provide status? I just want to provide some clarification. I don't think my client wants to pay me every month, but I can certainly provide a report to Madam Secretary. She knows I'm always emailing her, providing status. I can certainly do that.
I think you should come at the beginning of the meeting and wait till last to be heard and give a report. No. Yeah, a written report is fine.
Thank you. I can certainly do that.
And Mayor, you know, I know Ms. Moore is an eloquent writer of letters, but can we I think maybe just doing it on a quarterly basis, every couple of months, I think should be sufficient.
We meet twice a month?
We meet once a month, Mayor. So I mean, if we could just you know,
So
I'm sure Ms. Moore wouldn't mind doing it once a month, but
No, I don't think that's, I mean, every other month should be fine. At least every other month we're informed as to what is happening, and if there is a problem, she would alert us. So that if anything's necessary from us, certainly we can act on it. But every
Chair,
other month is fine.
Member Mobley?
Chair, would it be possible to, if in fact the property is not already fenced, that we would request that it be fenced?
Attorney Moore, do you know if it's fenced?
I'm not aware whether or not it's fenced. I'm not off the top of my head now.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know if it's fenced on all four sides, but I believe so. But you should check on it.
Okay.
That's
Anyone
all I
else?
have. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. So we will approve the extension for another year with the understanding that there will be quarterly. Did we agree quarterly, Attorney Wenzel?
So the motion would be to approve the extension with the following conditions. Number one, that the a site maintenance update be provided in no less than 30 days, and that every other month, I think that's semi-monthly, I'm not really sure, but every other month, Ms. Moore can give us a written submission about the site's progress. That would be the motion, Chair.
That would be my motion, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, I was just going to say it, Mayor Warren, that's a wonderful motion you made. So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second from Member Mobley. Are there any questions on the motion? All right, Madam Secretary?
Member Flossin,
Yes.
Member Anuki,
Yes.
Member Mobley,
Yes.
Member Latour,
Yes.
Council Vice President Montague,
Yes.
Mayor Warren,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jones.
Yes.
Chairman Holmes.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Very good, Attorney Moore. We will see you in a couple of months.
Yes, you will. Thank you.
But we will be hearing from you within the 30 days,
Exactly.
correct? Very
Thank you.
good.
Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Great.
Thank
You
you
too.
for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Madam Secretary,
Member Christmas joined the meeting.
let the record show that at 7:51, Member Christmas has arrived to the meeting.
Sorry, I was having technical difficulties. Thank you.
Yeah, that makes two of us, so we're here. So we will proceed. Thank you. Next on the agenda is case number 25-18. Beecher Development LLC, 622 South Center Street, which is a preliminary and a final site plan approval.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Madam Secretary,
Attorney Jenkins is here on behalf of the applicant.
Attorney Jenkins.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Good evening, sir.
Good to see you. Good to see everybody on the board. Again, for the record, Reggie Jenkins, Trank Isabel Siddiqui, and Shadanian on behalf of the applicant Beecher Development. The property in question is located at 622 South Center Street, and it's located within the city's scattered sites redevelopment area in sub-area 1. The property is currently developed with a freestanding single-family home. The applicant, who is the owner of the property currently, is proposing through this application to demolish the existing building and in its place to construct a new 5-story, 43-unit residential building with 43 physical spots provided. With the EV credit, we have the equivalent of 49 spaces. Some of those spaces, as we will discuss, are mechanical, but again, in total, we have 43 of the physical spaces provided. As has been confirmed by the board's professionals after their review of the application, they've confirmed, and we agree, that this is a fully compliant proposed project with under the redevelopment plan requirements. And as such, we're seeking this evening preliminary and final site plan approval. Also, it's a preliminarily or provisionally that we have reviewed. Our professionals also have reviewed the written reports of your planner and engineer, and we have no objection to the comments and conditions suggested. And we have no problems and will comply with the respective suggestions and conditions. With that, Mr. Chairman, I will introduce our witnesses and we can go right through it. At the end of the day, particularly since this is a compliant, fully compliant project, I would submit that the review of this is fairly straightforward. So this evening I have 3 witnesses, one of whom will be wearing 3 distinct hats as necessary. Our architect, engineer, and planner, Daryl Alvarez. We have Mr. Sean Fitch of Klaus Parking, who is here to speak to the mechanical parking mechanisms that are being proposed. And we have Elizabeth Dolan, who will provide professional traffic testimony in support of this application. Those are the witnesses we're proposing this evening, Mr. Chairman. Unless you have any questions, I'd like to get right into it.
Before you go forward, I'd just like to say for the public, there will be an opportunity for everyone in the public to ask questions or get answers to concerns. So for now, if you could just put your hands down, we will get to that point and we'll be clear as to when we get to that point. All right. So thank you.
One other thing, Mr.
Yeah,
Chairman, just
thank you.
logistically, I believe all of, or the majority of documents and plans we may reference have been submitted previously to the board. However, to the extent that there's anything new, for example, a colorized rendering, anything like that, we will mark those as we go along. And Mr. Wenzel, I'm assuming we will start at A1 at the appropriate time.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this point, I would like to have Mr. Alvarez recognized, please.
Yes.
Hey, where's Mr. Alvarez? Okay. Before I swear in Mr. Alvarez, just to piggyback on the chairman's comment to the public, I ask that you do not use the chat function. That is not going to be recorded as part of this meeting. If you wish to make a statement or ask questions, you have to be acknowledged by the board, and your statement will then be part of the record. When you put things in the chat, that is not part of the record. And it also, quite frankly, affects the flow of the meeting. So please refrain from using the chat function. It's not part of the record. But you will, as the chairman indicated, everybody will have the opportunity at the appropriate time to ask questions and make comments. So with that, Chair, I'll swear in Mr. Alvarez, who's there.
If I
Okay.
can just ask Mr. Aaron, if you could put your hand down so that those that are speaking can come to the front of the line, but when we get to the public portion, you will be the first in line. All right, thank you. Attorney Wenzel?
Okay, Mr. Alvarez, do you swear affirm and tell the truth before the planning board, sorry, before this planning board tonight?
Yes, I do.
All right, Mr. Alvarez, can you do us the favor of stating and spelling your name for the record?
Darrell Alvarez, Darrell Alvarez.
All right, Mr. Alvarez, if we could have your qualifications on briefly.
I'm a licensed professional engineer. I am also a registered architect, and I'm also a professional planner. I've been an engineer for close to 45 years, an architect for over 40 years, and a planner similarly. I've been in front of this board numerous occasions in other municipalities throughout New Jersey and New York.
And your licenses in the field of engineering, architecture, and professional planning are up to date?
Yes, they are.
Okay. And Mr. Jenkins, will Mr. Alvarez be testifying as an engineer, an architect, or a planner? And if he's going to testify in more than one capacity, I think it would make a little bit more sense, and I think you'd agree with me, that we take it in individual chunks, so to speak.
Exactly, and that's exactly how we were proposing to do it. So what I would ask him to do is first approach this from the architectural standpoint, to walk the board and the public through what the proposed building is going to look like with regard to the architecturals. Once that's done, and actually, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Wenzel, with regard to that, in terms of the questioning, do you want your professionals to interject at the end of each of those tranches, or can we do the architectural discreetly, engineering, and then we address, and then professional comments? I have no problem either way, just however you would like it to flow. My suggestion is just let him talk through.
Right. I think we just need to be my only caveat to that is we need to make clear when Mr. Alvarez is removing one hat and putting the other one on.
Sure.
That's the only piece. And since this is one project and a site plan, I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. So why don't we start with Mr. Alvarez's testimony in the one piece and then make sure when he's changing hats.
Perfect. All right.
So as far as this board is concerned, this board will accept Mr. Alvarez as an expert in architect, engineering, and planning. But as discussed, please, one section at a time. So we can start with architect or whatever you prefer to start with, but let's keep it focused on one individual specialty.
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Alvarez, okay, so you heard the admonition of council and the chair. in your architect's guise, can you please walk the board through this project from an architectural standpoint, please?
Absolutely. Let me share my screen, please.
So, and Mr. Chairman, I would note, and I believe this is correct, that this is a color rendering that is not included in the board's package, so we would ask that this be marked as A1.
A one colorized rendering of the proposed project.
Right, park view. Thank you. Mr. Alvarez, thank you. Go ahead and continue, please.
Do we see my screen?
We do.
Okay. What we have here on my screen is a colorized rendering of the proposed project. Looking at the corner of Lindsay and Center Street, looking directly at the entrance lobby area, which is just the corner here. And this is what the building is going to look like. Across the street on the right-hand side, you have a gas station, and then there's a lot on the other side of this building with residential. But it's very clean, straightforward, a good building for this type of a corner set. The building itself, if you look at the floor plans, this is the proposed ground floor. On the ground floor, again, this is the Center Street and Lindsay Street on over here. You have a lobby entrance off of Center Street near the corner, a large lobby area which accesses a elevator and a stair. On the other side of the stair, we have a trash room where the trash will be transported down to the room through a trash chute. It'll be collected there, and then at certain points at times during the week, it'll be rolled out to the curb. There's a door on the side here that'll allow us to take the trash that's inside the trash chute out, bring it to the curb, and it'll be picked up by a private trash hauler. Within the parking area, you'll be able to get into the parking area through doors from the lobby. We have a total of 43 spaces, with 8 spaces being 4 spaces here and 4 spaces here being provided through lifts. There's plenty of access room coming through the parking area. You have an entrance and an exit off of Lindsay Street. Fairly sufficiently separated from the intersection at the curb. You have handicap parking. We're going to be providing the required number. We have to provide one more handicap space here for the engineering comments. We have our bicycle parking over on the side here. We're currently showing some electrical vehicle charging stations here. We're going to be providing a few more per the comments. The building itself is the entire footprint of this here lot line, the front line, the side line. The building ends back here, so these last 2 parking spaces are out from underneath the building, and then the side yard on this side It's a 10-foot side yard here, and it gets large up to about 16 feet in the back here. Going up the building, the second floor, you have your elevator and your stair exiting or arriving at this floor level in this area. Right next to it is the trash room, which is the trash chute that's going to go down to the trash room below. And then you have a center corridor down at the building, which meets up to a second stair in the rear of the building with apartments on each side of the corridor. We have a total of 43 units, 3 being studios, 36 being 1 bedroom, and 4 being 2 bedrooms. And each unit is fairly typical. You have an entrance. You have a bathroom off to the side, a laundry room with a washer and dryer, a bedroom, closet space, living room, dining room, and kitchen, and a closet at the entrance. These amenities are typically provided in all of them except for the 2-bedroom, where you have the addition of the second bedroom and a private bath off of the master bedroom. The units themselves are over the required minimum floor area. The studios are a minimum of 676 square feet. The 1 bedrooms are over 833 square feet, and the 2-bedroom is 1,114 square feet minimum, all of which exceed the minimum floor requirements by your code. Typical 3rd floor and 4th floor is exactly the same, except that on the 2nd floor, we're proposing a fitness room on the 2nd floor, 676 square feet in this one corner, and that is not present on the floors above. That turns into a studio apartment here on the remaining 2 floors above. This here represents the elevations of the building. Again, I think the rendering gives you a better depiction, but typically what we have on the building is a storefront around the lobby area. We're using a cement fiber panel for the exterior portion of it. We're going to have windows and with PTEX, which are grills for the heating and ventilation system in the units. Underneath the windows, we're going to have a grill in certain areas where the parking is to keep it well ventilated. And it's fairly simple and attractive. Basically, that's the presentation for the architectural portion of the building.
Mr. Alvarez, are there any other amenities being proposed with regard to this building? For example, are we proposing a gym?
We have a fitness on the second floor. I went over that, yes.
Okay, and forgive me if I missed that. Okay. And I'm sure you'll touch upon this in your engineering, when you're wearing your engineering hat, but in my opening, I had stated that this is a fully compliant project. From an architectural standpoint, do you agree with that, that we are in conformance, and this has been designed to the conditions and specifications of the existing redevelopment plan?
That's absolutely correct. We're not asking for any relief or any variances. You're correct.
Thank you. So now if that, and obviously we reserve the right if there's any architectural questions that may come up during the questioning, but if that concludes the architectural presentation of this, of your testimony, then Mr. Chairman, I would ask now that we switch hats and we speak to the engineering.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Mr. Alvarez, if you could proceed to review this application from an engineering and civil, site civil aspect, please.
Okay, what we're looking at now is the existing survey of the property. And right now there is an existing dwelling, an existing two-story frame dwelling unit and a garage here that's presently on the site. It's being proposed that all of those be demolished and cleared for the proposed new building construction. Here are photos taken of that building and the site. Again, here's the existing building. That's across the street on Center Street, looking at the existing building. You see the adjacent gas station across the street on Lindsay. This is another picture of the down on Lindsay, looking across the site to the apartments that are adjacent to our site in the back here. And again, this is a photo of the corner of Lindsay and Center Street, showing the existing dwelling there.
And while you're doing that, Mr. Chairman, just for clarification, these are photos that are included in the board's package, so we haven't marked those separately as an exhibit. But
That's
again,
correct.
these have already been included with your package. Mr. Alvarez, I apologize. I just had to interrupt him.
Okay, proceeding, we are looking at SP1, which is the site plan, landscaping plan here. Again, the building, as previously discussed, the lobby, the elevator stairs, the trash room, and the parking area here. We're providing the required parking. We're at the bike racks, the trash room that is going to be able to have the trash removed out the side door and brought up to the curb level for pickup. We have the entrance to and from the parking area on the side of Lindsay's here. The building is built up to the property line on Lindsay, on Center Street, and on Lindsay per the zoning requirements. We have a minimum of a 10-foot side yard. On this side, it goes up to 15 feet in the rear. And then we have a rear yard of 18 feet, 19 feet minimum as a rear yard. We're providing the parking, we're providing the electric vehicle stations, the handicap ADA parking, side exit over here for the second stairs, the means of egress will come out here, wrapped around the sidewalk to the front sidewalk, and then the other one comes directly out through the lobby. Sufficient site triangles are being proposed, and landscaping or lawn space on the side here and across the back here. We're providing a stormwater retention system. This is a grading and the site grading plan. We're providing an underground detention here underneath with catch basins that are going to collect all the water and bring it into this underground detention basin. All the roof leaders will be attached to this basin also. They'll come out and then it'll be discharged to a outflow structure. And then that outflow structure will be extended out to the storm main in the street. It's been brought to our attention that we are going, instead of showing it attached to the sanitary, there is an existing storm lateral in here, and we're going to reattach this to the storm lateral. We're going to move these detention box such that we're not going to provide this connection to the storm drain that gets underneath the generator. So that will be all adjusted, and we will conform to that as per some of the comments. We have our sanitary connection. We have a sprinkler water connection and a domestic water connection over here and a gas connection here. All of them coming out and attaching to mains on Center Street. These all are going to go into the lobby. Underneath the lobby is a small basement area, which is going to house the utility rooms and such, meter rooms. So that's all there. We provided a site lighting plan with the photometrics on it. There is a comment in the engineer's report that we would like to put in, or you're recommending that we put in some light shields to control any of the glare onto adjacent properties. We plan on doing that. We have no problem conforming to that requirement. Another one of the comments in the recommendations and the engineer's recommendations and the planner's recommendations is they are requesting for some trees to be planted in the side yard here. 3 or 4 trees planted in the side yard here to buffer that elevation. We have no problem in conforming to that, and we will certainly put some trees in that area. Basically, that's the design of the site with regards to the site engineering. If there's any questions regarding this, feel free to take them.
Yeah, just one minor clarification or confirmation, because I believe you touched upon all of the comments that were raised between both the planner and the engineer's report. To the extent we haven't touched on any in particular, would you agree with my opening statement that there were no other conditions that have been, or request in this that we object to and that we cannot conform to?
That is correct. There's no requests in either of the reports that we will not conform to.
Thank you. And one other question, and again, I asked you as an architect, I'm asking you as an engineer. from an engineering standpoint, from a site civil design aspect, this project is indeed fully conforming with the redevelopment plan in place. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I don't want to be pedantic about that and keep reinforcing that, but I think it's just an appropriate foundational point to make in that as this is being reviewed, this is as a fully conforming application, that the board is constrained and constricted in its review as to what it can and cannot do in terms of as a fully conforming application. There really is not much, if any, wiggle room in the board's review towards, say, looking to deny this. Again, we conform. The administrative, the governmental pronouncement has already been made that this is an appropriate location for a development like this, and therefore we are here to demonstrate that we conform to the physical requirements that are set forth in the redevelopment plan.
Thank you.
So at this time, Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions of Mr. Alvarez in either his architectural or his engineering capacity. And I would open that up to the board's professionals if you so wish.
Is he coming
Wait.
back as a planner? I'm sorry,
So-
Attorney Wenzel.
Well, two things before Attorney Jenkins responds. Number one, Mr. Alvarez, can we stop the sharing of the screen? Okay, great. And number two, I think we were about to hear from Attorney Jenkins as to whether or not we did qualify Mr. Alvarez in the field of planning. So the question is there going to be any testimony from Mr. Alvarez in the field of planning, or are you just holding him in a recall capacity?
That is correct. And as I was about to say, I have no further questions for him in those two capacities. If there were planning questions that were to come up, again, this is conforming. So I think we're really not, we really don't need to put in on that aspect of it. But obviously, if there are any questions from a planning standpoint, then he remains ready to answer those questions at the appropriate time.
With that in mind, Chair, I think you were correct in saying to throw it over to our board professionals.
First, I'm going to ask any board members if you have any questions for Mr. Alvarez as an architect and engineer.
I have a question.
And I recognize Member Latour first.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. I have several questions, and I know he's wearing several hats, so I'm gonna just rattle them off, and he could pick and choose which hat he wants to use. And I beg to differ with all due respect to the council. We do have a little bit more leeway as far as the decision that needs to be made. There's a lot more as far as sitting in this chair than compliant and conforming that needs to be accounted for. So I beg to differ with him respectively. So my question is, with a story, with a proposed plan for this, I only see, and I could be wrong, I only see one amenity. That's a gym. That's one of the questions. I'm just gonna rattle them off. You could just answer them when I finish, so you could, unless you want to interrupt and just answer them as I go along.
No, you're correct. The only amenity inside the building is the gym. For open space and such, et cetera, you have the park right down the block. So that
Okay.
the gym is the only amenity inside the building, yes.
Okay, and the storefront. what kind of storefront you would imagine in that area that would fit the working flow of that area? Because I'm really familiar with that area and I can't imagine a storefront in that specific area.
Well, I just said a storefront. It's a glass wall system. It's going to be all glass, so you're looking into the lobby, which will provide you a clean and secure, safe environment. Which you'll be able to see it from the outside. You'll be able to see if people are in the lobby when you're walking up to it. It provides you with a clean, nice, elegant entrance and lobby area for the people in there, so they feel secure walking up to the building. They open the door, they already know who's in there, who's not in there, and it gives visibility before you even get to the building.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I understand the design, but I have a pretty good imagination, but I just cannot imagine what type of storefront would fit in that area. Moving on. Thank you for your answer.
Actually, member, if I may, just for a clarification, Mr. Alvarez, you were using storefront merely as a descriptive in terms of the architectural. We're not talking about putting a store in there.
No, there's no store in there. It's just a glass curtain wall type of building element.
Okay. When you said storefront, I'm like, wow. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure that that point was clear.
Thank you
no
for
retail
clarifying.
space in the building.
All right. Thank you. One question: do you think this promotes the residential area and the properties?
Yes, I do. I believe it. I believe it promotes the community. It's again, it's directly in accordance with your the ordinance, the redevelopment plan.
Okay.
And I think that it provides a attractive, good building, with providing residential space that's needed.
Would you define the area at large as a commercial corridor or a residential or mixed use corridor?
It's basic, I believe, like on a borderline of residential and mixed use. And I think that's been discussed in the planning report, and I think it's a good fit.
Okay. Was there any sustainability thought in the development or in the design of this this project? Because it is a mixed use, and as you said before, it is next to a park. So in order to maybe even try to make it fit a little bit more into the area, I would think if there would be some sustainability thought into it, some kind of integration or infusion into the area a little bit more. Is there any thought in that?
Other than providing rental properties for the area, no. I mean, you are splitting right across the street. You do have a gas station in the Ugrin. On the other side, you have a beautiful park there. So, other than providing needed rental space, I think that's as far as we went.
Okay. As far as traffic and parking, I'm pretty familiar with that area. I don't think there's any parking in that area. It is a high speed corridor it's a transit oriented corridor as far as traffic is concerned. And 43 units, you're 110% gonna have spillover as far as cars being used in that area. That is one concern that I have as well. And I know you're gonna be stackable, but well, not only would there be a traffic and a parking concern if it's in proximity to the park, so you're definitely not gonna find parking even going down the street to the park. So there is a strong concern as far as parking for that amount of units.
Well, I believe I'm going to defer that for later on. I believe later on we do have a traffic engineer to discuss those issues.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I will yield back and hold for further questions. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Next up, we have Member Christmas.
Hi, I'm really new here. I live in Orange, and I am very concerned about outside space for residents to be able to sit outside and enjoy the outside within their residence. You know, I understand there's a park down the street, but there is but I want to address that we should be able to enjoy some kind of space outside. You know, what if there's children other than the park down the street? I would want some kind of outside enjoyment where I could sit outside and enjoy, you know, the environment. That's my point. And also, the streets in Orange are very, very narrow. We're going to have these big units, these big apartments. 43 units is a lot in a space like that to be able to accommodate. It's small because you said there's only 4 units that are 2 bedrooms. So you're really wanting a single person to be there. But for just having a gym, there's no way to sit outside and enjoy the space. You know, you want to be able to
I
enjoy where you live at.
I understand the concern, but again, these are more for young professionals or professionals without children. But the fact that you have such a wonderful park a block or so away from this unit, it's going to provide them with more or all the outside conveniences that they need. We provide an interior gym, which is an amenity that most apartments of this size like. But in fact, most apartments of this size don't have the convenience or the luxury of having such a park so accessible to them. So I think the exterior amenities is going to be provided through the use of the park.
Next up, I see Member Foston. And again, I'm sorry, for the members of the public, there is an opportunity for you to speak. Now is for the board members and the professionals. So again, it will be clear as to when the public will have the opportunity to speak. Member Foston.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Membello too as yet asked one of my questions regarding the parking availability and sustainability. But I want to know whether is there a traffic study for this particular project and what kind of safety feature apply to this project?
Yeah, if I may, Mr. Chair, as we noted, we do have a traffic engineer. So to answer that question.
All right. Vice Chair Jones.
I do have some concerns. Can you explain what the traffic flow would be if, let's say, a package needed to be delivered to the building? It looks like the entrance is near the front, and Lindsay Street is very narrow with parking on both sides. I envision people blocking traffic on South Center when all of that traffic is trying to move around there. Not to mention, Claremont Terrace is a one-way street that exits onto Center Street, and I've witnessed a couple of accidents there because the turn is so tricky. To make a left-hand turn, you have people going left onto Center, left onto Harrison, trying to make right. Then you've got all of the traffic that's coming from the gas station, down Tremont from the South Orange side, going back to a lot of traffic over there. And I'm not sure how other vehicles coming to the property are going to maneuver in a safe manner around that site.
Well, I'll defer the traffic congestion problem and that to the traffic engineer. But deliveries for this site is going to be the delivery people are going to be coming up and stopping and pulling up to the curb, bringing it in and bringing it out. There's no way a vehicle can access the parking area. The delivery truck can access the parking area. So all deliveries are being anticipated to be curb drop off. Similarly with the pickup for the trash. The trash is going to be rolled out to the curb and then it's going to be picked up by a private hauler.
So Amazon will come up to Lindsay Street if they have an Amazon truck and pull in the middle because there's parking on both sides of Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would get out of the truck on Lindsay and not block traffic on South Center. And they know that.
They may not know it now, but they'll know it after the first time they try to deliver something.
Because I can see that being a nightmare around that area. Trying to get anything delivered, having Uber Eats delivery people double parked in front of that building in that high traffic area is frightening. And if you've seen some of the accidents that have happened, they've really been pretty bad on that intersection because of the one-way street at Claremont and all of that traffic coming around. It's not a good sight line to make a left turn there onto Center Street from Claremont. It's hard to see to go that way. You really feel like you're taking your life in your hands when you make a left turn and even sometimes a right turn. We've got a school right a couple blocks away from there and the park with a lot of children. So I'm very interested. I understand, I read the traffic study, but it's honestly not convincing to me because I'm not sure if they looked at the fact that Claremont is a one-way and all of the traffic from that street and anybody who comes down Claremont to bypass some of the other traffic on other streets, not to mention if there's ever an event in the park. The county holds many events in that park.
Again, Center Street is a two-way street. It has basically a center lane and a parking lane on each side. So that in this scenario, you could have a delivery vehicle pull up to the curb, get out, deliver the package, and still remain the traffic down the one lane that's going down on that street. So I see it may be an inconvenience at times. I don't think it will be it's a major inconvenience.
I
But
think
we'll have
there's a lot of packages delivered to a 43 unit building.
offhand, I do not know what the statistics of that are for. Maybe, well, we'll certainly take it into consideration.
There's a lot of packages delivered to my one family house. So I expect that many packages will be delivered to 43 units.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I remember the tour.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to piggyback on what Ms. Jones said. So basically, Lindsay is actually a dead-end street. It's a very narrow dead-end street. So if any use for any sizable vehicle to go down that street, and I live on a cul-de-sac, and they have a hard time coming down the street and turning. So they will not be able to go down the street, or they'll have a really difficult time, especially they have it's parking on one side of the street on Lindsay Street. So it's not only it's narrow, but there's parking on the sides on Lindsay Street. For a sizable truck to drive and deliver and then go down the street and turn around, it's nearly impossible. I've been down that street. I know the street very well. It's nearly impossible. And Center Street is not amicable for parking and delivering. It will create a traffic nightmare. And it's not just merely an inconvenience. I don't think that's a good way of saying something is good when it says any inconvenience is an inconvenience. It depends who's being inconvened. Thank you.
Any other questions from any other board member? I seeing none, Mr. Alvarez, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Attorney Jenkins?
But
I heard a but. So, if there are no further questions of Mr. Alvarez at this time, I would like to pivot with regard to the mechanical parking portion.
okay, and who are you going to present for that, Attorney Jenkins?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find him on there. I'm looking for Mr. Fitch.
I am
Sean.
here.
There he is.
All right, Mr. Fitch.
I will give you all video for a moment, but when I present, I will probably pull it back off.
All right, Mr. Fitch, let me swear you in. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth for this planning board tonight?
Yes, I do.
Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Sure. It's Sean Fitch, and that is Sean, last name Fitch.
Okay. And Attorney Jenkins, is Mr. Fitch speaking as in expert capacity or in a factual capacity?
He is, and I would say as an expert in the design of the mechanicals. It is his company that, and I will let him say what his specific capacity is. But he is here to describe the proposed mechanical devices that are being proposed to be installed for in the spaces that we've designated.
All right, so why don't we, as part of this, Attorney Jenkins, why don't we just get a little bit of background, which I'm sure you were going to do in any event.
Exactly.
A little bit of background to establish Mr. Fitch's bona fides to provide this testimony.
Exactly. So
although he's not going to be, he's just through you, Chair, he's not going to be an expert in the field of architecture, engineering, or planning, but he's basically describing a particular mechanism.
Yeah, I will call it operational testimony. This is how this mechanism works, which will, and you'll see, which is in his purview to provide in his testimony. So, Mr. Fitch, first of all, could you just provide the board with your current position and background with the company?
Sure. I'm the National Sales Director for Klaus Multi-Parking USA. We are a manufacturer and installer of mechanical parking systems. And the purpose of this is to basically give some description and context to the mechanical systems that'll be deployed at, I believe, 12 of the 40, oh geez, I don't know the total off the top of my head. 43, I think it is, spaces. So this is pertinent to the 12 mechanical spaces, and we'll show you ideally how they operate. And this is, my background is about 10 years in mechanical parking and about 25 years in construction systems of various sorts.
And so you're familiar in that capacity with their design, with their installation, with their operation, correct?
Correct. And
just very briefly, I know you touched upon it, but the company itself, is it a startup? Is it just a mom and pop? Or
yeah, I've got a presentation. I'll give you. I got a whole slide on that if you want to hold on that for a second, and it'll be probably the second slide. I'll give you some context to the company's longevity and experience.
Yeah, for the purpose of Mr. Wenzel, I was being funny and facetious. This is a substantial company in this field. So, Mr. Fitch, if you would.
Sure. Bear with me. I'm going to try to share now, and just let me know when you all are seeing the screen. Oh, I have to be enabled.
So, Attorney Jenkins, what Mr. Fitch is going to share, was that part of the package, or are we marking this as
it would be
A2?
Yes, I wanted to get it up first, and then we could describe it, and then I was going to have it marked. But yeah,
okay,
you were right on point.
Okay.
Okay, can I am I able to share now, or?
Yes, please.
Okay. First, I'm going to show this just image quickly that has kind of the layout. And then I'm going to go to my slide deck because I just want to have this visible. This is a snippet of the parking area. And as you can see on the right of screen, the blue and red is showing the area in which our mechanical spaces would be included. So,
And I'm just going to, I would describe this, Mr. Wenzel, as A2 trend variable 63 puzzle.
That's exactly what it says.
Yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna stop that share, and I will share now the slide deck that I'll run through relatively quickly. There's quite a bit of information, but not all of it is necessary. I think this is more about getting you at least familiar with us and that system in particular.
Right. And before you go on this one,
yeah.
Can you identify how many slides are going to be in this deck? And once we do that, Mr. Chairman, I would ask that we mark the whole deck as Exhibit 3 rather than individual sheets.
Attorney Winslow shaking his head, so that's affirmative.
Thank you.
Yeah, there are 16 slides.
Okay.
Chairman? Mr. Chairman?
Madam Secretary?
Attorney Jenkins, if I may, this one is a second exhibit, A3, or we're still on A2?
This is a second. So this is A3.
Thank you.
So yeah, A2 was just that one sheet depicting the parking area description. And this is and I'll let him elaborate further, but this is the overall description of the company that is providing this.
Thank you.
Good to proceed?
Please.
All right. So this is the slide I was alluding to earlier. It's a very young company, only 120 years old, adding to your joking nature there. We've been providing parking systems for roughly the last 64 years or so. And in the US, about 35 years. We are a wholly owned subsidiary of Klaus GmbH. So we are essentially, we are the manufacturer working here, operating here in the US and representing those systems and installing and servicing them. So this is just to kind of give you a little bit of the timeline. What we're talking about in particular is that 6300 variant of what is known in the industry as a puzzle parking system. These are essentially, they are self-park systems. So they do not require, pardon me, of course, scratchy throat when I'm talking, do not require valet attendants. They are, end user operated. And this particular system has 3 levels, typically ground, above ground, and then a pit level, as you see on the right of screen. And each parking space, that'll be utilized will be assigned a unit of the building will have an assigned space within the system. This is going to give you an animation of kind of, basic function. I also have some other videos that I will go through. This shows you operation and access with a typical key fob for access, like, a lot of people are accustomed to for entry to buildings or even garage doors. The user basically waves their fob over the kiosk. Their particular space is brought to the entrance location. The full height gate is raised and the user drives their vehicle in like any old parking space. They'll come to a full stop, obviously, and basically walk out like they would have any parking space and tell the system that they're gone, and it will move their vehicle to what would be the storage location. That could be at the second level, that could be at the pit, what have you. So I'll just let that play out. Again, this is just showing an animation of another called vehicle brought up from the pit. And the user just backs out like they would from a traditional space. I believe this is going to roll. There we go. This is an actual installation. So showing you, instead of just an animation, showing you full video of an install. Again, you have the same operational access kind of protocol where you will use a key fob to gain access to your particular assigned space. That space is, or your vehicle is, in this case, your vehicle is brought to the location where you will access it, which is always the same point or the same gate, if you will. And we have to break it down in steps, but it's just for an alliteration to see exactly what that means to use the system. But it's for the end user, it's really no different than operating a vehicle in traditional parking environment. Just important to note, when you're looking at that environment, you see the full height gates, and I think that's valuable to understand that these are completely enclosed systems. Again, another example of a 6300 system, different gate style, but this is same functional operation. And this is showing you obviously bird's eye view from inside, which you normally wouldn't have, but we do it for the purpose of really getting to understand the mechanics of it. And every operation is just a lift or a slide, which is funny enough. Another anecdotal name for the systems besides puzzle is also called a lift slide. So, just to see some of the operating features, like you saw in the videos, platforms are called by the user. They typically use a fob. We can also enable remote control through an app. There's different modalities, but it's all doing the same thing. That user is calling for their particular space. All movements, again, are behind those full height closed doors. And then when the gates open, it's only opening for either retrieval, backing, taking your vehicle out, or bringing your empty space to you so that you can pull in. Reset function, if the door is not closed by the user, the button could be reset by the next person that is coming to use the system. And just a closer look at operating panel. These kiosks are located, I believe this is 2 separate systems comprising those 12 spaces. So there'll be 2 kiosks, and the kiosk is mounted directly outside of the system, and that's where the user would be accessing it. And this is just further instruction, kind of, memorializing what you saw in video already. Further kind of close up is, this is what each, user would be issued is a smart fob, smart chip that would be utilized to tap. And that is, again, each key fob is assigned a space number. So it only calls their particular space. Any questions so far? I mean, or are we waiting for a later time? That's entirely up to you all.
Why don't we get through your deck?
Sure.
And
No
I may have 1 or 2 follow-ups, and then we can take other questions from there.
No problem. And then, just talking about sliding gates, again, they are full height gates. They operate, kind of like they have light motion barriers. So, kind of like a garage door, if you go to close it and you walk through it, it stops. Same would happen with the gate. If it was closing and you broke the beam, it would stop movement. All the gate material is, everything actually in the system is corrosion resistant. Everything is galvanized steel, but the gates themselves are perforated aluminum, which you see here in the screen on right top picture. That's what the actual gates look like. We do provide keys for emergency access for local municipality to gain access manually. They are provided these special keys to be able to access it if need be. And if anybody was ever to need it, there's a manual override provided at each gate location. Talking about platforms a little bit, they are providing you a number of kind of, helpful safety features with wheel stops. There are sensors on every platform that will indicate, any tilt or movement, and just to, keep the system, aware of what's going on. Typically, if there was any tilt, it would be a kind of a lockout default. Doesn't typically happen, but the sensors are there. There is drainage for accumulation of any kind of, in our weather that we've been getting lately. This is important. Snow and water will slide. Basically, the platforms are, they have a slope from the center to left and right, go into drainage, basically rails, and then will exit off of the pallet at an end and not on a vehicle below, which is nice. And then as a company, for the purpose of, maintenance, we are local New Jersey based headquarters with a local service team. We have 24/7 coverage and replacement parts should they ever be needed, located very close to actually to the projects here in North Jersey. Not necessarily pertinent, but good to know. Warranties are pretty standard, but then after warranties, we provide service agreements for the building owners and provide, very much like a elevator company, like, Otis would provide annual, biannual inspections. We operate under the same sort of schedule. And then user training is provided by us to the project, typically to building management, who then, kind of a train the trainer scenario. We can also hold trainings for local, departments, inspectors, whoever might be interested in having a better grasp of system functionality. We have dozens of installations, all over the country, many in New Jersey, and I think globally we're about 1 million spaces installed by Klaus throughout the globe. So we've definitely got a great deal of experience in installing and maintaining these products. And I think that's about, I think, all you probably all needed to see. So I'll stop there.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, one other additional logistical thing. While we noted that as a 3, we will of course provide the board, through your secretary, a copy of that in the multimedia format that it was displayed here.
All right, thank you.
So, Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions for Mr. Fitch at this time.
All right, now open up to any board members that may have a question for Mr. Fitch. I see Member Foston.
Thanks again, Chair. Honestly, I like that presentation, but my concern, I have two concerns about that particular system. First, if there would be electrical power problem, and do you have a backup plan to remove the cars or to make the system operational? And the second question, if we have to maintain that system for 2 or 3 weeks, do you have a backup parking for the tenant by the time to park their cars?
Let me try to answer the first one first because it's easiest. Second one, I think I might need some clarification. The first question was if, you're basically a power outage, some sort of emergency scenario, there is the ability to exit the ground level and the second level up from the ground, because the system runs electrically and hydraulically, and they can be lowered. The top level can be lowered down. The pit level would not, without any power, would not be able to be brought up. So that would be an impossibility without power. However, these systems do not consume a great deal of amperage or power requirement to operate. So a small backup system, or if there is an existing one already planned of some sort of generator, we could, it could be accommodated with, whatever the existing, system is. If there is one, if there is not, we could give, the appropriate requirement, and a small generator could be planned for that could run the system even in the event of, a power outage for the rest of the building. So I think that answers the first one. The second, you were talking about a maintenance period of time. Could you give me a little clarity on what you meant?
This is there is a mechanic it's a mechanic system anyway.
Yes.
So someday it might or some during a period of times it might need maintenance, and we don't know exactly whether the maintenance gonna be for 1 week, 2 weeks, few days. But for this period of time, what plan do you have for the tenants to park their car and on the street, or where? What is your plan?
So maintenance would not typically require the full system to be emptied for any significant period of time. That can be planned accordingly with building management to make it less invasive. It could be 6 of the 12 on one week, and the other 6 of the 12 another day, another week, where we could schedule with those assigned users that when they're out, that we maintenance that particular system. We can do it to be as little time as possible, where anybody would be out of the system in an unusual time. It only in an emergency scenario, where there's something major mechanical, which frankly, in my experience, I've never had, but this is life. Things that you don't experience can still happen. And we needed to do something that was prolonged maintenance. Realistically, we would have to work around whatever vehicles were in the system, and those that were, kept out. I don't have a particular plan for that. They would, for whatever that period of time is, they may have to, park elsewhere, or I'm not sure what the contingency would be, but yeah, in the worst case scenario, there would be potentially some overflow of vehicles that could not be parked in the system in that, 1 in a million opportunity or situation.
Member Christmas.
Do you have a proposal for visitors? You have 43 units. The street is very narrow. It's single family homes on the other side of the street. Where would 43 prospective visitors park?
Yeah, I have to defer to somebody else in the design group for the project, but I'm only really relatively concerned with the 12 spaces that are my mechanical spaces. The rest of the spaces are traditional floor or ground parking. I'm not aware of what the plan is for visitors personally.
Correct.
I'm only a small portion of the total in actuality.
All right. Are there any other members that have a question for Mr. Fitch from any board member? All right. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, if we're done here, then I would move on to our traffic engineer.
Please.
Thank you.
All
At
right.
this point, I would like Elizabeth Dolan recognized, please.
All right, where is Miss Dolan?
I've just.
Oh, there you go. I see you, Betsy.
Am I here? Okay.
All right, very good. All right, Miss Dolan, do you swear affirm to tell the truth for this planning board tonight?
Yes, I do.
All right, Miss Dolan, can you state and spell your name for the record?
Elizabeth Dolan, Dolan, Dolan and Dean Consulting Engineers, Somerville, New Jersey.
Okay,
Thank-
and Ms. Dolan, if we could have your qualifications on briefly.
I am a licensed professional engineer registered in New Jersey. I specialize in traffic engineering, and I'm going on 40 years in this career, and have been accepted in this municipality and others throughout the state. And hopefully you'll acknowledge my qualifications tonight.
Ms. Dolan, is your license to practice in the field of traffic engineering in the state of New Jersey, is that up to date?
Yes, it is.
No emails today?
No.
Okay, all right. Chair, Ms. Dolan has appeared before the board on multiple occasions, been accepted as a traffic expert.
Mr. Dolan, it's good to see you again, and this board will accept you as an expert in traffic, and your testimony will be limited to that as a traffic expert.
Thank you, and understood.
Thank you very much, Ms. Dolan. I'm just going to wind you up and let you go. Can you give the board the benefit of your analysis and professional expertise in the area of traffic with respect to the application that's before the board this evening?
Yes, our office prepared and submitted an October 2, 2025 traffic study that was submitted as part of this application. The report is a very standard traffic impact analysis, even though this is a low traffic generator and a permitted use. We're looking at up to a maximum of 19 driveway movements at this proposed development for 43 units, recognizing that people come and go throughout various hours of the morning and evening peak hours. So we're looking at a maximum of 19 driveway movements. That is not considered significant in terms of traffic engineering. However, we did prepare a full impact analysis with traffic counts performed. And I'm just going to go to my traffic figures. South Center Street at the intersections with Tremont and Lindsley Place. We counted those volumes. We added traffic for background growth. We added traffic associated with this development. We found no significant levels of service changes. We found no degradation in the operational conditions. As I said, that the amount of traffic generated during the peak hour is not considered significant in traffic engineering terms. And so this is not going to create a negative impact on the adjacent roadway network. We're looking at 9 additional trips to the nearby intersection of Tremont and South Center. That's a day-to-day type of change in traffic volume. So we're not looking at a significant impact. We're not looking at a negative impact. We've gone through a very formal analysis, even though this is a low volume generator. And I think the board can find that we have conclusively indicated that there will be no negative traffic impact associated with this redevelopment project.
In addition to that, and we've stated this before, but from your expertise in traffic, is it significant to you that this is a fully conforming and permitted use?
Based on my understanding from a traffic engineering perspective, yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions of Ms. Dolan at this point.
All right, I'm going to open it up to board members, and I see Vice Chair Jones with her hand raised.
Ms. Dolan, in your impact study, when you only look at the amount of traffic that will leave the site by the people who live there, or as I was talking about before, do factor in this day and age that people are going to be receiving packages and all of these different vehicles will be coming to the building in a high traffic area?
Sure, those delivery activities are included in the estimates, but as was testified by our prior witness, that's more of a like sort of a management issue and making sure we have the ability to accommodate FedEx, US Mail, and so forth. You know, that's more of an accommodation issue than impact issue.
Well, I mean, right now, based on the design of the building, it doesn't look like there's the truck can't go onto the site. So they have to be on the street to deliver a package, which means they have to leave a truck likely running or something to that effect so that they could bring one or multiple packages into the building. And management or not, I mean, I find that concerning if you're on that street and you see the amount of traffic that is there in the morning, especially, or at after work hours. To me, it's a detriment to the community when you have little kids walking to school over there and seeing that it's already a problematic intersection there with the one-way street at Claremont, the left turns to Harrison, the hard left turn onto South Center Street, and now the additional traffic going in and out of the site, the 622 South Center Street site. Not to mention the gas station, which has its flow of traffic in and out, and the hospital where people are going in and out for work all day. So I beg to differ. I'm not in agreement with your traffic study. I'm not sure exactly from my view, even another 10 cars makes a big impact there because it's so much traffic there in the morning. It's so hard to get out of there. And the people in Claremont have no other way to go except to go onto South Center Street. I'm not sure if that was considered that's a one way.
I'll just say that it is not a high volume of traffic, but we are all dealing with the FedEx and mail and pickup and drop off. It's happening everywhere, and so it's not something that this project is creating. It's something that is a lifestyle that we're all dealing with.
I think the fact that there's going to be 43 units there creates a situation where there's a lot of packages that are going to be delivered, whereas that situation isn't there right now. So I understand your point. I'm not going to argue back and forth about it, but I think it is concerning and then quite a detriment to this small, like, congested area of traffic here.
It's the lifestyle we live right now.
Member Latour.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Vice Chair Jones. I think I improperly addressed you earlier by Ms. Jones. Thank you, Vice Chair Jones. I think earlier one of the experts said that it is going to create a minor nuisance, for lack of a better word. And in all practical terms, if you go from 1 unit to 43 units, if you think 1 unit will have 2 or 3 cars max, and 43 units will have the same on an average. So you're talking over 70 cars in the parking situation, and you're adding the delivery average per unit, and you're adding the lack of parking. And I'm no expert, I'm no traffic expert. I have a respect for you guys as far as professionals, but I think you have a hard time. You have a hard time predicting. And I know you use a lot of science, a lot of technical expertise. But if you're adding if you have 1 unit and you're adding 43 units, and in context of this corridor, I think they're going to be a detriment to the area as far as traffic impact.
Well, we've performed a very formal analysis that has shown there will not be a negative impact. I understand the concerns about deliveries and movements, but the plan has been prepared to meet the redevelopment plan, and the plan has been developed with a parking supply that meets the requirement. So I understand the concern, but we have met the requirement.
Thank you. If I may, Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, I understand that as well, Ms. Dolan, but at the same time, there's also a consideration of the corridor and the context that it fits in itself. So that's my point as far as the full context and not just what it's intended to be compliant with. There's also an impact, a detrimental aspect of it, and a practical use of the area for the entirety of the ecosystem of the area.
Sure, they can park in front of the parking entrance while making deliveries. So there are accommodations that can be made. I don't see this as a negative impact. I see this as a appropriately developed site plan, but I understand your concerns.
Thank you. I think we agree to disagree. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Dolan, I'll ask the question. I'm not ashamed to. I don't understand all the big terms, all the rigmarole that you go through. Can you explain to me, in very simple terms, how you came up with 19, as you quote, driveway movements? Was that the term that you used?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
how did you come to 19, considering you have Tremont Avenue, which is a major artery in Essex County? You have Center Street, which is a major artery in the city of Orange, and as well as East Orange is Harrison. We're not talking about East Orange, but anyway.
Sure.
And then you have Hayward Avenue nearby. These are some major arteries that are happening in this area. So can you help me understand how you came up with the 19 additional driveway movements?
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you.
So we've got 43 units that are proposed. And, think about your own driving habits. But the traffic engineering world goes to the Institute of Transportation Engineers, and they have a database based on actual driveway counts for different types of residential, in this case, developments. So for the multifamily development that is proposed in a peak hour, the ITE database indicates 12 entering, 7 exiting, for a total of 19 driveway movements in 1 hour. So that's where that comes from. It's an estimate based on actual traffic counts at multifamily housing developments that ITE then puts together to develop a database.
Okay, so you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, 19 movements in an hour. You have 24 hours in a day. That's a lot of movement.
That's
Would you
right.
agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking
And that's just one day
Mhm.
from
Yep.
that one development.
Correct.
That's a lot. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you breaking it down for me. Anything else from any other members? From Ms. Dolan, any other questions regarding traffic? All right, I don't see any more hands raised, so thank you for your testimony, ma'am.
You're welcome.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I could ask.
I apologize. I saw a late hand. Member Foston did raise his hand.
Thank you, Chair. This question
Ms. Dolan,
goes
are you
to-
still available? There you are, yeah.
No, this question goes to Mr. Alvarez.
Oh, he's not on yet.
Is that-
We're working with Ms. Dolan right now.
Okay.
We can come back to Mr. Alvarez because he
Okay,
is
no,
still
no
under,
problem. Thank you.
but don't go far.
Chair.
Member Mobley.
Thank you, Chair. Ms. Dolan, that intersection, is that a controlled intersection?
Yes.
And so but when you're coming out, when people are exiting from that street, and they're trying to turn onto South Center, if there are 19 vehicles coming out of there in an hour throughout the day, you don't see that that might be a problem?
Well, we've performed a formal analysis that indicates it's not a problem. And if it is a problem, then it is on the Lindsley Place approach. You know, that's where the delay would occur. So somebody waiting to leave to get to South Center to then get to the Tremont Avenue intersection, that's where the delay would occur.
I have to agree with some of my colleagues here that it would be it does appear that it would be a challenge coming out of there throughout the day. It's just a very difficult intersection to try and have 19 vehicles coming out in an hour. But I just wanted to share that. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. Member Christmas.
I just wanted to just ask Ms. Dolan, did they consider that Lindsay Street it has only one outlet, and that there's other residents on that block that need to come out also?
Well, of course, and that was the purpose of the analysis. And the analysis shows that on the heaviest peak hour, we can accommodate the volumes exiting this site plus existing traffic.
Okay, I'll take that a little further. What is the existing traffic that's coming out of Lindsay right now? How many driveway movements do you have?
We've got 9 vehicles exiting during the morning peak hour, which was 7:30 to 8:30. And we've got 3 during the evening peak hour that we recorded from 4:30 to 5:30.
And as it was mentioned earlier, there is a school nearby and buses travel a little bit earlier than that. So, okay. We're not at the public portion yet. So any other questions from any other members for Ms. Dolan? All right, seeing none. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes, sir.
could I ask the board's indulgence for just a 3 or 5 minute break?
What,
Attorney Wenzel, thank you.
yeah, Attorney Jenkins, I think the next step would be to turn it over to our board professionals for their input. Do you want to do that, or do you want to take your break before our board professionals make their comments?
Yeah, I just want to, just a brief one. I would like, and we can do that before the professionals.
Yeah, Chair, why don't we say we take a brief adjournment to 9:30? Everybody has to stay on. Nobody log off. Everybody's just gonna go on mute and turn off your camera. Nobody log off, please. And so if we can, through you, Chair, I think if that's okay with the board, I think we can do that.
And we can reconvene at 9:30?
9:30.
That's perfect. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, that's what we'll do then. Thank you. Again, please don't log off, members, public, nobody. Just hold on. Thank you.
May I ask a question?
I'm
yet, Mr.
sorry,
Abbott.
sir, not at this time.
There will be a public portion, so please be patient. All right, it's officially 9:30.
Chair, if I
Yes.
can for one
Attorney
second,
Wenzel? Yes.
there, just let's hold off until we have the return of the applicant before we start.
Okay,
Thank you, Chair.
that's fine.
But just give us a second here, Chair.
Absolutely. I see you, Attorney Jenkins.
Yes, I'm back.
All right.
So when we're back on the record, I would like to bring something up for the board's consideration.
When Attorney Wenzel says it's good, and I see 1, 2, 3, I see 4, 5.
Yeah, let's just
Chairman, let's take a roll call.
Yes, I was just gonna suggest, absolutely. We're all on the same page, y'all. I love it.
Just 1 second, please.
Yes,
The
take your time.
well-oiled machine.
All right. Member Foston,
Yes, present.
thank you. Member Aniuke,
Yes, present.
Member Mobley,
Yes. Present.
Member Christmas,
Present.
Member Latour,
Present.
Council Vice President Montague.
Present.
Thank you. Mayor Warren,
Present.
Vice Chair Jones,
I'm here.
Chairman Holmes,
Present.
quorum has been met.
Chair,
You may proceed.
Attorney
Chair, through
Wenzel?
you.
Yes, sir.
So just to reorient everybody where we last left off, I had asked the question to Attorney Jenkins about whether or not he wanted us to proceed to the next step, which would be opening up to Mr. Hazel and Mr. Cowling as our board professionals. So Attorney Jenkins, do you have an update for us?
I do. And the reason I didn't want to go down that path is because, first of all, we've heard a lot of very good questions from the board, and I'm sure that some of those board questions are going to be echoed by members of the public. What I think is feasible, and what I think actually is most efficacious for this, is that we end at this point to adjourn to an available time for the board's next available hearing, because I think there are some questions, there's some questions that have been raised that I would like to give more pointed answers to. Because at the end of the day, we're here to answer the questions to the best of our ability and so the board actually has a full, the range of facts. So, rather than guess and roll the dice, I want to get you the answers you want. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I would ask that we be carried to the next available, agenda. I believe that it's March, but I think that one may already be kind of heavy and full. I defer to Ms. Reyes.
And by the way, I'm sorry, Attorney Jenkins, I always I don't like to cut you off. For the members of the public, please, once again, do not use the chat, do not use any of the other functions. This is just like a courtroom. We keep a record. There's a court reporter. So when you do chats or anything else, they're not being recorded, and B, it interrupts the flow because you see what's happening right now. There will be a time, and for the members of the public, I will give you an absolutely full explanation of what the next steps are. Attorney Jenkins, I'm sorry, I cut you off. You were saying about the date?
If I might, Mr. Chairman,
Mayor Warren?
I think it might be prudent to, as Mr. Jenkins said, the facts have been laid out for the board. There are significant members of the public that heard the facts as well. Might it be prudent to allow even the public to, in some form, submit comments and questions that they may have had up to this point? Because we bring this application back, the public is going to still have tons of questions, and it could result in another adjournment at that point to deal with the questions that the public has. So is it a way, I don't know, council, is there a way that it could be allowed to submit whatever comments or questions they have, and so that when Mr. Jenkins comes back, he'll be able to address all of the issues, not just the board's issues, but the public's as well. Or, I mean, at his own peril, he could wait until the next date, and if the public has a deluge of questions and comments, they have to adjourn then to answer them again. I mean, I guess prudence and efficiency is what I'm aiming for.
So, Mayor Warren, you bring up a good point, and I'm going to first defer to Madam Secretary for the next available date, and then I'll return to Attorney Jenkins to hear what your thoughts are regarding moving forward. And Attorney Wenzel will surely keep me on point. So, for the next date, Madam Secretary, what is the next available date?
Mr. Chairman, that will be April 22nd.
All right, April 22nd. So with that knowledge, Attorney Jenkins, how would you like to proceed?
So while I have something that night, I can move that. So I have no problem with that. To Mayor Warren's suggestion for the submission of questions in advance of that, I have no objection to that. Again, as I mentioned, we're here to answer the questions. So if we can, if we get anything in advance of that, we'd be more than happy to review, entertain, and respond as best as possible. As well as when we come back to at the time of the hearing, as I said, I believe, I could be wrong, and I don't want to be presumptuous, but I imagine that some of the questions that the board members have raised are echoing some of the concerns that the residents have as well. So I'm hoping one way or the other, we're going to capture all of those questions and concerns and be able to respond. But again, I have no objection to them submitting anything in advance of any subsequent hearing.
Attorney Wenzel, I will defer to you as to the process that shall be followed.
Okay, so let's talk about the formal and the informal. The formal process is that this is an application, every applicant in this situation, this is their hearing, and they have the ability to request a continuance. And obviously Attorney Jenkins is waiving the time for a decision as part of that. So it's his case to present. That is the formal piece to this, and so he's asking for a continuance, which is going to occur on the April 22nd date at 7:30. There will be this announcement today is the notice. So if you, as a member of the public, are on this Zoom session, be aware that this matter is going to be presented at the April 22nd date, 7:30. There will be Zoom information provided at that time. There will not be a need to renotice. There is no renotice when a matter is continued like this. That's the formal piece. And in terms of just finishing out the formal piece, once in the manner in which we do this, once the applicant is completely done, the board professionals are done with their commentary, the matter is open to the public, and every member of the public is free to present their questions and comments at that time. So that will be at that time, potentially at the April 22nd meeting. That's the formal process. So now let's talk about the informal, which Attorney Jenkins is opening himself up to, and where, you know, and quite honestly, also our hardworking board secretary also serves as an intermediary in this capacity, where members of the public can submit their questions, their concerns, and then that can be passed along to Attorney Jenkins. I know what's also been done in the past, and it's completely the applicant's call to do this, but sometimes the applicant has some type of open house or a community meeting. That's not a requirement. There is no requirement on any applicant ever, under any circumstances, to do that, but sometimes applicants do that. But in this set of circumstances, what Attorney Jenkins is opening his self up to is the communication outside of the board meeting. Now, once again, the members of the public should be aware that if you're making that communication in that informal capacity, you should still, if you want to, go to the planning board meeting. Don't think that I submitted my question and now I'm on the record. That's not being on the record. Okay? So you can submit that, and hopefully it's received well by the applicant. But if you still want to make a comment, if you still want to ask questions on the record, the time to do that is April 22nd.
Correct. Any communications outside of that is not in lieu of testimony. It is, you know, assisting in such comments as come later. But Mr. Chairman, I agree with everything that Mr. Wenzel stated.
And I will ask Madam Secretary on what process should be followed in order to get questions, comments, or concerns, written comments, questions, or concerns to you and or the applicant and or attorney.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. All members of the public who would like to provide any comments in order to be passed on to the attorney, please email them to me. I'm going to say my email, and I will try to put it in the chat.
I'm putting it in the chat as you speak.
It's A. Reyes, REYES @orangenj.gov. I'm going to say it again. A. Reyes, REYES @orangenj.gov. Please also know my email is on the city's website, listed as the board secretary. And I believe that my email was also listed on the applicant's notice as the board secretary. You can send those comments via email.
Madam Secretary, I just put it in the chat. If you can check it just to confirm that that is accurate.
And Madam Secretary, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman, I would recommend, or first of all, is there a application number that you would like referenced so that, you know, so for consistency, can we say, or
Yes.
just by, you know, by the address, or just say application 622 South Center Street?
Yes, that would be acceptable.
Yeah, just so you're not inundated by something that says, you know, something random in it, and so that can be easily picked up.
Yes, please use either the address 622 South Center Street or the case number for this application, which is case number 25-18. Again, case number 25-18 or 622 South Center Street. Thank you.
And I just placed it into the chat. And again, this does not limit you from appearing before the planning board, the scheduled planning board meeting on April 22nd to address any concerns, any questions that you may have. So this is just another opportunity for you to get your questions, comments, concerns addressed. A. Reyes at orangenj.gov with the subject of case number 25-18, 622 South Center Street. All right, I see Vice Chair Jones with her hand raised.
Can I make a suggestion that there be a time frame around how long they have to submit the questions, only so that Ms. Reyes has time to compile them and provide them to the applicant?
That's great, Ms. Reyes.
That would be, I would defer that to Attorney Jenkins.
Attorney Wenzel or Attorney Jenkins?
You know, I think while things are fresh in people's minds, that's probably best to do it. You know, and obviously, I think the point of this informal process is to give the applicant as much feedback as possible so they understand where the board is and where members of the public are concerned. So the sooner these are presented, the better. So if I would think that individuals can probably provide them in the next week or two. You know, and obviously, once again, the public has the right to appear at the April 22nd date in any event.
And Attorney Wenzel, just for the record, and you correct me, please, nothing else with the continuance, nothing else in this case will happen prior to April 22nd, officially, correct? Formally.
There will be, the board takes no further action of any type until the April 22nd date. So there will be nothing that occurs between now and then. Well, the only action would be whether there's anything on the applicant's end. Once again, I know that I see several people have their hands raised, but once again, we're not taking public comment or question because the applicant's case has not been finished. So once again, if you have a question or comment, that will be done when the applicant is done with his case.
But this one is an insult for us who has been here for 4 hours almost. It's an insult completely. I'm from Sterling Avenue and this one is an insult. That we have been for 4 hours here. And we are
Mr.
not
Aaron,
together.
Mr. Aaron,
You're completely out of order. Just
You allow
speaking out of,
speak in another community.
all right. Please, members of the public, this is, please understand something. This is not
Your
a city council.
not gonna stay quiet.
Okay, ma'am, this is not a city council meeting. This is not a public meeting. This is a application that requires a court record, and speaking out of turn would not be acceptable in a court of law. And the board sits as a quasi-judicial capacity, which means that the board, as you saw, took testimony. This is, I understand that members of the public have concerns. And there, as I said before, and I'll say it again, the public has its opportunity at the end of the applicant's case to ask the questions and provide the comments. You are more than welcome to participate and be here and watch this occur. This is how this operates.
It's disrespectful.
Very, very, very.
Ms. Reyes, okay.
I'm
This,
working
this
through
is
it.
not, this is not disrespectful in any way, shape, or form. This is the method set down by law as to how these board meetings operate. Once again, I'm not saying you don't have the opportunity to speak, it just doesn't happen now. That's all.
With that,
Mr. Chairman, if I
Okay.
might?
is that Mayor Warren?
Yes. Mr. Chairman, it may be, and I would suggest this is not a requirement, but it may be a good idea for the applicant to have a public meeting outside of the.
Mayor, you're a little muffled. We could hardly hear you.
You are
I'm sorry.
breaking up.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
This might be a good opportunity for the applicant to have a community meeting outside of the planning board meeting, so that the public can be thoroughly heard and you can flesh out some of the issues that they have. That wouldn't take the place of the next planning board meeting, but it would get the public a chance to have their input heard without the strictures that were outlined by council, because that wouldn't be a legal judicial proceeding. That would be an open public meeting where the public could be heard and the applicant could address the issues even more thoroughly than they would do at a planning board meeting.
Attorney Jenkins.
So, that is something I will have to discuss with my client. It's been done before, but let me speak first with my client. And also, again, there's some homework we're going to be doing first. But one way or the other, even if we don't hold that, as we said, we're more than amenable to hearing the public concerns and questions. So again, one way or the other, we will get to those. But your point is well taken, Mayor Warren.
So for the record, Attorney Wenzel, no, I understand. The applicant has decided to adjourn for tonight, and they will do continuance on April 22nd. And that is it for this application as of now, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. So with that, we'll move the agenda.
Thank you very much, by the way, for your time and consideration. We'll see you in April.
Thank you, sir. Is there any unfinished business? Any old business that needs to be
No,
addressed?
Mr. Chairman, there are no old business.
Is there any new business?
No new business on my end, Mr. Chairman.
Anything from any members? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion.
We have a motion from Member Latour. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second from Vice Chair Jones. Are there any questions on the motion? All right, all in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Is there anyone that opposes adjourning this meeting at 9:54 p.m.? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.